Hey guys, Kelsey here. So I kind of started this on my Instagram live the other day there, but I never got a chance to fully explain how to do a parasite cleanse. Now, first things first, I must say I'm not a doctor, but in my personal opinions, these are the things that I would do beforehand. Now, if you go to your doctor, which I highly suggest you get him to watch you through this experience, is one, the tests are flawed. You probably do have parasites, but the tests are going to come back flawed. Two, you really have to be in touch and tune with your body in this whole experience throughout this entire process. Three, listen to your body. If it's telling you to stop, probably stop. But if it's something on the lines of cravings or just weird things, that's the parasites trying to control you. So first things first, the first thing you're going to do is a kidney test. So you're going to find a mason jar and you are going to urinate in this mason jar first thing in the morning. Now, within this mason jar, you're going to find sediments. A good kidney system will be having sediments in it. It will be filtering out. It'll also look kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Fuzzy. A few signs of bad kidneys would be jaundice, foamy urine, sleep problems, changes in urine schedule, rashes, muscle twitch or cramps, sexual dysfunction, lack of appetite, increase of bruising, possible numbness in hands or feet, headaches, and brain fog. So those are a few signs of kidney failure. This is really important. I do not recommend going past this first step if you can't pass this first step. There are so many layers upon layers upon layers, because once you start finding about the parasite, you understand how they work and what they do to protect themselves and how they work within your body. Number two, you might want to try doing a liver detox. So your kidneys and gallstones, or your liver and your gallbladder and gallstones. So there's a way you can actually excrete out gallstones, but I am not too familiar on it, so don't quote me on this, just look into it. Another thing you can do for stimulation of bile is coffee enemas. Coffee enemas will help stimulate the bile production. Now, a few things of liver pain, you can have upper abdominal chest pain, jaundice, yellow skin, dark excrements. What else? Muscle degeneration, so you're losing a lot of muscle. So your liver also holds a lot of anger too. So if you're drank a lot or you're very depressed, it tends to be overworked already. So now we've gone through kidney, liver. Now let's start going, say you've passed these tests already, like you're feeling good, you're looking good. What's the first thing you would do? Well, it's going to be a long process. So the air we breathe is heavily contaminated with aluminum. So now even the food, the pop, we have excess amounts of iron. We have to do a heavy metal detox. Now in this heavy metal detox, you can do activated charcoal, TRS, fulvic acid, humic acid, cilantro, just these different things to add back into your diet to help pull these, bonded metals out. So we have lots of iron, excess iron added into our food. Now, iron is good, but too much iron is bad, because when our oxygen goes into our blood and it tries to bond to our hemoglobin, too much iron makes it not bond at all. So we can't, what's the word I'm looking for? We can't actually breathe at a full rate. We become anemic. So now that we're anemic, we have to get these metals out. So during this time, distilled water is probably the best thing for you. Filter water is good, but still, if you're having 100 parts or 30 parts or 20 parts per million in this water, you still have to figure a way to get it down to minimal, because distilled water is the closest to H2O because you've boiled off all the impurities. Now in this, it's easier to move in and out, in and out. It can transport the nutrition in and transport the waste out through your lymph system. Now, we've started doing heavy metals, but guess what we also forgot? Lymphatic brushing. So lymphatic brushing is our lymph system. After our white blood cells attack something, it goes into our lymph system. That's our garbage system. That's our sewage ducts. So our lymph system is all up in here, especially in, the center of your arms here. So it comes back, women on your breasts and here. So you're going to brush everything to center. You're going to go down your head. You're going to go down your neck, but you always want to start at your heart and then work outward. So you're going to go here. And then you're going to go up. This is called lymphatic dry brushing. You can do it in the shower too to save you time. But again, start in the front, then go to the front 10 to 15 times per. And then you got to do the same thing. And then you can chase it back up again. Because once you get it from here to here, now you got to move it again. So now that we've got lymphatic brushing, we can also say that cold showers can do this too, because it restricts the blood cells and makes everything tight so everything flows a little easier. So cold showers are also very important and stimulate. Cold showers will also relieve inflammation. So by chilling yourself, it kind of settles it down. If you think about a kettle and kettle's boiling, all the molecules are like this, right? What happens when you ice, like you bring it down, you cool it, ice they get layered, they get structured. Everything gets good when it gets cold. So this is why lots of sports athletes use cold therapy, cryotherapy. Okay, so now we've done the tests. We've done the cold shower. We've done the lymphatic brushing. We've done the heavy medical detox. Now, the mucus cleanse. This one is the change of the diet. This is the one that really gets you. Because when you're doing this lymphatic brushing, now everything's starting to move and you're starting to get it out. But now the parasites in your gut are going to be hiding behind mucus. So anything that inflamed you, if you're allergic to dairy, gluten, like you got mucus in you, guaranteed. Like if you've ever done psychedelics and you start tripping out, and some people get this purge, like they're throwing up like green mucus or phlegm, and it's something that's unnatural to them. But this is where the parasites hide, is within these mucus. Even if you think about the mucus, when you have pneumonia, is mucus in the lungs. Like they just come up with different ways of calling mucus in different spots a different problem. So the mucus is a complete change in diet. You got to juice fast, you got to fast, dry fast. Dry fast would probably be the quickest way to start off, because when you remove everything from it, just think about, it's the easiest way to explain this. Okay, you're running your car. Uh-oh, something bad's happening. You take it to the mechanic. What does he do? He unplugs the battery and starts working on it. He takes away the energy source from the parasites. So when you're taking away this energy source from the parasites, now that they are without food, without protection, they are very susceptible to getting kicked and punted out. The immune system works best when it's got nothing in it. That's how it protects the body. It was tradition in native culture to go out and fast for a week, like dry fast, no food, no water, and just go out and sit with creator, sit with death. And it's usually healing. It's the regenerative, because you're relying him for power, him for strength. You're just relying on an outward source, even though it's internal source. So now we're doing that. The next one to help is, I mentioned before, but it's the coffee enemas. You can also, well, anytime you put something in you, you're probably affecting your microbiome. So this means that if you are taking an anti-parasitic and it's going into your body and system, you're probably going to have to add probiotics back, because it is attacking, like it doesn't know which is which. It's just going to attack whatever. So you have to add probiotics back to make it balanced out. So enemas, you can do water, Epsom salts, chamomile tea, coffee enemas are really important. And these, you try to do them 2 to 3 times per week. Like you can dehydrate yourself by doing too many enemas, just because when you're putting water in your rectum, your body's, it's like, oh no, you got too much water. So it's trying to suck more out of you. So it can dehydrate your body. So you have to be aware of the consequences too. You don't want to really go with a hard tip enema, because you can puncture your colon if you go in too hard, but be gentle. Coconut oil, something, just try it out. Apple cider vinegar is another one too, because that will also eat away at the parasites. So the next one I have here is breath work. Now, everybody's different. I'm not saying that, there's any particular method I follow. It's just something to get your oxygenated or your blood oxygenated. So if you're physically active and you're running frequently or walking, running, this is okay. This helps. But you need to push that limit where your body becomes tingly, because that's when you start to get all fired up with all the oxygen inside you. So now that your blood's oxygenated, the best way to describe it is, think about this. The ideal host for a parasite is a pig. A pig has a very acidic diet. A pig is also very lazy, very fat, very slow, very sloth, very dirty. A pig also has 0 sweat glands. So if you aren't sweating, there's probably a reason, and it's probably in your lymph nodes or your lymph ducts that something's blocking you up there. So now we're trying to get our body oxygenated. There's definitely a lot of supplements that can help. Nitric oxide, like some of those workout supplements. Another one is cordyceps, the mushroom. Now, this will also help boost your oxygen levels within the body. So within this oxygen, now your body's oxygenated, becomes alkaline. It makes it easier because you go from acidic to alkaline. It makes it easier to eject. Like that's their pride, that's their joy. They love high CO2, high acid. So now we can start moving along. Okay, that's number 7. Fasting, water fast, juice fast. So I said that before. Dry fast, water fast, juice fast. And for as long as you possibly can. The longer you do it, your body absorbs nutrients better. It gives yourself a break from trying to digest food all the time. And if you aren't taking 1 day a month trying to fast already, give yourself a break. Like, you work all day, every day. Why don't you give your stomach a break too? Like, it takes a lot out of you. I personally, last summer, I did 5 days without food. And by the end of it, I was like, oh yeah. But I stuck to a water fast because I wasn't, capable. I was still trying to do things around the house and stuff, but it was really pushing things to the limit. But I got to see another side of me where I could actually just do something just because I thought I could do it. So now we're finally at the Parasite Cleanse. Whatever kit you decide, whether it's a parasite purge, a black walnut, herb, ivermectin, just be careful. Know somebody what you're doing. Keep a journal of what you're doing, dates, times, what you took it, when. Like, the more information you can have it on it, better. You got to watch out when you start taking it. Okay, so if you think about the parasite cycle, it goes up and it peaks at the full moon. That's their reproductive cycle. That's when the crazies come out. That's when everybody is messed up. That's when they have their most power. So now, if you start hitting them here at the full moon, after on the other side it starts to go down, well, guess what? They're going to lose their power that much faster when they're going, because if you start hitting them on their way up as they're still gaining power, it's going to they're going to slowly peak and it's going to get less. But it's when you start hitting somebody when they become weakest, it's just whoosh, everything just goes that much faster in a downward swing. But this is now the important time. You got to watch your enemas. You got to watch your poo. You got to clean yourself regularly because parasite die-off is real. I was 2 months into my first cleanse, or yeah, I guess it was first cleanse because I won 1, 2, and then 3. I did one kind of cleanse. I went to another kind of cleanse, and I went to another kind of cleanse. Now, this 3 months at this, or 2 month mark, I felt my kidney shut down. I had this extreme back pain that I just couldn't understand. And I'm like, oh, this isn't good. This isn't good. This isn't good. This is where I found out that liver and kidney supports are massive in this. So if you have kidney stones or gallstones, please do not proceed. Seek advice from a doctor, go from there. But when your kidneys start to shut down, you feel this back pain, like terrible back pain that you can't describe. I was like, oh shit, this isn't normal. It's not physical. It's nothing I did at work yesterday. Oh shit, this is my kidneys. Listen to your body. So I went and got my diuretics. I did some dandelion root tea. I went out into my yard. I dug out dandelion and cut it. I ate it. Dandelion weed my ass. God damn, this is one of the best medicines I've ever found. So please listen to your body. If it's telling you to stop, some of it could be just mental with the parasites, but you really have to push through to that next. So when you're in there, you have this like, I am beating the parasites. I am claiming my body. This is mine. Now, the further down you go down this rabbit hole, you realize that these parasites can be railroaded. Like it feels like they're picking up on a signal that's just not of this earth. Because people, like when you talk to schizophrenics, they're hearing things. Okay, so let's look at schizophrenia for a little bit. Schizophrenics have an excess release of dopamine, or is it serotonin? I can't remember. But it's released in their stomach, and with these excess release of chemicals, they start hearing voices in their head. Now, what would release these in the stomach other than parasites? Even if you look into bipolar, schizophrenia, major depressive disorders, hey, look, it all comes back parasites. Lupus, Alzheimer's, all these diseases all come back to parasites. You think I'm crazy? Start checking the medication that you're taking. It's very simple. Type in AIDS, medicine, parasites. Boop. Here you go, right? Like, man, it seems so simple, but it's really not. Because now they're accustomed to the antiparasitics or whatever it was you've had on for the last 10, 20 years, like high blood pressure, rheumatoid arthritis, like all these medications carry so many antiparasitic properties that are just secondary. What are the odds, right? So I hope this puts a little on it. Please message me if you're trying to do a parasite cleanse, you need some direction. I can coach you through it, explain the diets, anything. I am just willing to help because we're all in this together, and it's all I hope. So if you're out there suffering from mystery illness disease that they can't figure out, I guarantee it's parasites. Just get back at me. Later, guys.